Welcome to Accelerate Your Wealth, a podcast by Rebecca Robertson, founder and director of Evolution Financial Planning. This series, we're focusing on female financial independence, looking towards a stronger financial future. Be sure to let us know your thoughts on the show, and please do connect with us on Facebook, LinkedIn or Instagram, or head over to www.rebeccarobertson.co.uk.
Hi, it's Rebecca Robertson and welcome to this special edition on Christmas Eve in my front room, in front of my fireplace and my Christmas tree. I'm wishing you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And this is a special edition also going on my podcast. And I just wanted to share this sort of time of year can be quite a reflective time for me. And I find myself looking at different points of the year, what went well, what didn't go so well, and what things I struggled with, and what I want to think about can change that for next year. So I'm going to share some of my ups and downs of this year and some learnings that I'm going to apply to next year. Now, it's not all finance related, but I definitely think that the mindset we have in ourselves, how we feel about ourselves, really does reflect our financial abundance, our financial position, and how secure we are and how we feel about our finances. So at the beginning of this year, I was really super excited about where my business was going and what I decided to do. I'd done a rebrand, and it just felt really amazing and really aligned. And I took somebody on in the team in my company, and it ended up being a big mistake. And the rest of this year, my time has been spent doing far too much of team management and looking after the team and the different aspects within the team. So next year, I'm being super aligned and super careful about who I take on and what role they have. So it's very easy in business when you're not necessarily taking on people that are employed on a full-time basis. You take on people that are self-employed or contractors, virtual assistants, etc. But what you can tend to do is that you sort of give them a job and you get on with it and then you get it back. But when you get to a certain point in business, I've been in business 10 years, you can't do that all the time. You need someone to take more ownership. So they end up having a role. But because they're self-employed, you don't treat them like an employee because they're not. You're not able to, you can't. But then you miss that element of management. So you're not checking in with them. You're not actually giving them the tasks to carry out, to make sure they understand what needs to be done and when it needs to be done by. So there can be a lack of ownership in terms of the role and what needs to be done. And it's really important the people that you have around you are there to support you and to help you, so that it frees you up to leverage your position so that you can then look after more clients, speak to more people, do the things that you should be doing and what only you can do and only you are good at. So I've had some huge learnings this year, and one of my biggest things is I'm not great with confrontation, and when someone's not doing a good job, I'm not good at approaching them and saying, hey, this is not great, this needs to change. And I don't know, something I need to continue to work on, but I also feel that when you have actually the right people, they want to hear you, they are willing to listen, and they're able to hear, and they sort of know. And I tend to find that you don't necessarily have to have those conversations as much. So I now know that if I can't have those conversations, that they're actually the wrong person for me to be working with. And I need to be stronger about how I make those decisions, how I decide who is right for me and who is right for my business. Because at the end of the day, and this is a massive light bulb for me, I'm not here to serve them in the sense of, to pay their bills and to serve their business. I'm here to look after my family and my clients, and they're here to support the business to enable me to do that. Yes, I pay them and I look after them in that process, but that shouldn't be the first and foremost thing. So that's one of my biggest learnings in the business, and that personally leads me into a reflection around how I'm feeling about myself, how confident I'm feeling, and how I need to make more time for myself. So I end up filling my time, any spare time, with more work. There's always more work to do, and you don't necessarily reach burnout, but you certainly reach a point where you don't have the headspace to make better decisions, and you're not able to see things quite so clearly. So one of the things I want to do next year is I really need to put more time in my diary. So I'm going to work with my PA about arranging more time for me to have time for myself. I don't know, maybe some of your mums that are listening, whether you're employed or you're self-employed, we actually schedule in time for ourselves. We schedule in the play dates and the family time and visiting family. And this time of year, it becomes even more things to do, even more family to see, than what we would normally get up to and what we'd normally need to be doing. And we don't make time for ourselves. So one of the things I'm going to be doing next year is making more time for myself. So they're the main things that I've learned from this year. So financially speaking, this year's been great. I've personally paid myself more. I've paid my team. They're getting paid more. They're doing more hours. And a massive thanks to Katie in my team. She's my client manager, and she's been my rock for probably about 3 years now. And I literally couldn't run the business without her. I've had some other amazing people working in my team over the last year or so, that have done amazing and now moved on. They've gone to the stage where they've fulfilled what their needs and what needs to be done, and we now have some new team members coming in, which I'm super excited about. So they're my main things for this year and what I would like to happen for next year. So New Year's just around the corner, and I don't know about you, but I'm not a massive fan of New Year's resolutions. I never keep them, but I am about goals. And one of the things I think is really become obvious, for myself and for my clients, is being really clear on what our goals are and what we want to achieve. So is that something we want to achieve in the next month, something to achieve in the next quarter, or by the end of next year? So if you haven't already got my planner is a great tool to enable you to start planning, or grab my book and a journal and start making some notes and things that you can start doing with your finances for 2022. Oh my goodness, it's going to be 2022. It sounds so bizarre just saying that out loud. This year has completely flown by, and I don't know, but I just felt like 2020 didn't even happen. It's almost like we've missed a couple of years and it's just vanished. So I think what I've really learned from that is that it's really important to do the things that are important to you and to focus on the things that are actually important. People say life's too short. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think life is actually quite long, but we fill it with too much stuff that makes it feel quite short, and we should be doing things that really make us happy. We have a tendency to fill our time. And if you think back to last year, when we was running up to Christmas, where some people were sitting around doing nothing because they were either isolating or they were furloughed, and we wasn't rushing around quite so much. There was less pressure and we were doing things differently. Whereas 2021, everyone's just gone into this, since September, everyone's gone into this massive overwhelm and overdrive of more stuff, doing more things. And there's Christmas parties and meals out and dinners and people round. And I think we just got to be really self-conscious about how we spend our time. Time is a huge asset that we completely undervalue, and it's all about doing the right things towards the right goals to achieve them as quickly and as effectively as you wish. So having the right people around you, putting time aside for yourselves. Reality, right? Reality is I have dogs, they make lots of noise. So so having the right team around you, making time for yourself, and being really clear on what your goals are so that you're spending your time effectively. So that's it from me, over and out from 2021, and I'll see you in 2022. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and a very happy New Year.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode of Accelerate Your Wealth. For further help or to connect with Rebecca directly, please head over to the website www.rebeccarobertson.co.uk, where you can find further information on our planner, book, and how to further maximise your wealth. For any regulated advice, please do head over to www.evolutionfinancialplanning.co.uk.